Welcome to episode 21 of Seeking Focus.
Nice.
The special edition, the outdoor edition.
Outdoor edition. Enjoying that cider, mate?
Yeah, I am. I'm actually having a grizzly beer.
Grizzly beer, cheers.
Welcome to Seeking Focus, a podcast that provides photographers and videographers with a place to critically compare technology, share ideas, and enhance their skills.
So, for everyone out there who's wondering what the hell we're doing an outdoor show today, something a little bit different. It's a twofold show. We're using the Rode Go 2s to see how they record independently. So they're not actually connected to anything other than the actual microphones themselves.
Yep.
In addition to that, we're also going to an exhibit today, which is an art exhibit. It's a little bit different to photography, but the reason we're doing this is because the exhibit itself is photo-worthy. And you've actually done some videos previously at one of the previous exhibits.
We have actually, you're right.
So the actual exhibit today is going to be in Melbourne. It's a RONE exhibit, and it's called Time. So it's basically being held directly above Flinder Street Station, and it's being produced by RONE, who is also known as Tyrone Wright, but RONE is his street art name. And RONE's actually from Geelong originally, and I believe he came to Melbourne as a street artist back in 2001. And he does nostalgic sort of street art. He originally started off doing portraits, paintings and artworks like that. And as time progressed, he basically developed his own unique style where he would completely deck out places and create atmospheric, nostalgic sort of feels to his artwork. So his first major piece was basically back in 2016. The exhibit was called Empty, and it was in the Star Lyric Theatre, that was in Melbourne. And then in 2017 he released his second exhibit, which was Alpha, which was appropriately titled because it was held in Alphington Paper Mills. And the same year he also released Amiga, which I'm not sure if you ever saw it in the photos, but it was actually a little weatherboard home. And he basically decked out this weatherboard home, and there was queues right down the street, around the corner, and he's always pulled in massive numbers. And then basically in 2019, where we were sort of started doing a little bit of photo work around his work, was a 2019 Burnham beaches. It was like what would you call it? It was a Art Deco building, a very old heritage listed Art Deco. Actually, it wasn't heritage listed because it was being knocked down.
But it's almost like an old mansion.
It was a mansion. It was an Art Deco mansion. And we actually showed up to that and we took some photos. And
we should have that still.
Yeah, it was somewhere. Yeah, I've got them floating around on my site. Nice. But that display that he did was just amazing. You walked in and it wasn't just a couple of pictures up on the wall. It was more about him basically having decked out the whole place. So he got furniture, he filled up the house so it looked like the period. He also did artwork across the bookcases, and it was an adventure into art. It wasn't just...
Yeah, that's right. And I remember there was one room that was totally flooded as well.
Yes.
Like he flooded the whole thing.
He made it into a swimming pool.
Yeah, but like almost like a black water. But it looked, because of the reflections and everything else, I remember like taking photos in that, and it looked pretty impressive. So yeah, it was cool. It was actually quite impressive.
Yeah, he's amazing at what he does, and it's photography and videography worthy. And so he's better known for his giant-sized female portraits. So you'll find at most of his exhibit, he's got massive portraits up on the wall of females, looking very exotic, 1940s, World War II sort of period artwork, and they just captivate you. And the surroundings, he fills places up with dust, wallpaper. He does an amazing job. So today we're going to go see his most recent exhibit, which is actually being run here in Melbourne at Flinder Street Station. There's 11 rooms that basically he's decked out, 11 massive rooms. I think this is his biggest art display. So, and he's basically taken over the top area, level 1, and I think the level above on Flinder Street Station. And it's basically taken him 3 years of planning and production to put this together with a team of 120 people. Wow. So as you can tell by the sounds of it, I'm excited. I love RONE's work, a huge fan. I never got a chance to see any of his earlier stuff in person. I did see photos of it, and it was just awe-inspiring. So I'm really looking forward to coming to this exhibit today. Now, in addition to that, what should be known is that Flinder Street Station itself is an amazing place. And the Ballroom is a location that hasn't been open to the general public for many, many years. I believe it was actually closed down back in 1983. So basically it hasn't been open to the general public for almost 40 years. And they've gone off and basically decked it all out. And I've been dying to get in there to see it. And this is my opportunity to do that. So I'm over the moon. Now, have you had any desire to go there and see it or yourself? Or?
Yeah, look, I think the whole thing about today is I'm a huge, and like yourself, I'm a huge fan
Are you excited? Are you excited?
I am. But I'm a huge fan supporting the local talent, you know what I mean? Locals, and RONE being local are from Geelong,
Yep.
which is approximately 100 kilometres from Melbourne itself. So I think, just being there and supporting the locals, giving him that sort of, not just our money from a perspective, but I mean, just being there and just supporting him and seeing his work within a historic building like that, like Flinder Street Station, I think it's a huge, huge thing. So for me anyway.
And I have to say the price of the tickets were only about $40, which for what you're getting, the artwork, plus the exhibit, and plus also the heritage listed building is amazing. Now, just a little bit of background on Flinder Street Station, which a lot of people probably don't know. I actually didn't know until I looked it up myself. Big fan of it, but there was a lot of detail which I never was aware of. So the station is heritage listed. It was opened in 1854 and it wasn't completed until 1910. And it serves the metropolitan area of Victoria, but also regional as well. So it does a bit of both. And it's an amazing place to see. It's got domes, it's got amazing architecture. It's fantastic. Now, it is actually the oldest station in Australia. And it also has the longest platform, which is probably not really important to anyone else, but I like little facts like that. So it's got the longest platform in Australia on any train station, and it's actually listed as the 4th longest platform, being, I believe, 708 metres long in the whole of the world.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so,
good job, mate, doing the research.
Yeah,
impressive.
And it's actually easily recognised by its dome structure. I mean, you can spot it from a mile away. You see photos of Melbourne, you see this dome structure. Bang, that's Flinder Street Station.
I've actually done one of my YouTube videos on Flinder Street Station. So
time lapse.
Time lapsing, and so if you do want to have a look, I'll put that onto the notes with the link. So if you guys want to see it.
Also at the front of it, you'll find that there's a whole bunch of clock faces, and each one of them tells you a time that the next train's arriving, and so on. It's been there since the beginning of time. And I believe there's 13 functional clocks that are still mounted on the front of the building. So that's really cool. So anyway, the building itself had, back when it was actually built, it had a lot of different areas inside, which are no longer there. But the upstairs featured a gym, a creche, a library, a lecture hall, and later in 1950s and 60s, it was converted into a ballroom. So there was a huge amount of events that happened up there. And it was one of the most popular dance halls in Melbourne. Unfortunately, as mentioned earlier, the hall was closed down in 1983, and it's become pretty decrepit. That's why no one's allowed up there. Like in past, people would go up there and fall through the floorboards. That's how bad it was. So it hasn't been well maintained. One last thing, it's an urban myth. Right, now, I had never heard this one before. All right, so you ready for it?
Yeah.
Okay, so they say that the actual original design for the station was mixed up. So basically there was a competition, a worldwide competition, and 2 people in Melbourne, I can't remember their name offhand, but they applied, they put in their design, and they won the award. The actual plan was then sent off to England, where the design was drafted up and then sent back out. Now there's rumours to suggest that potentially, now I don't know how true this is, but it's actually quite interesting when you look at the details, that Flinder Street Station was actually never meant to be what we see today. The real plan for it ended up in India. Yeah, so it was basically the original Flinder Street Station design ended up in India, and we ended up here in Melbourne with the Indian design.
Wow, that's creepy.
It's creepy. It's freaky, but like a lot of it, you sort of look at it and you go, well, it's probably just nonsense. But the interesting part about it is, if you look at the actual the decor and the design of the actual building in India, it looks exactly the same as the church that is across the road, the cathedral. same, towers, same structure, same everything. So you'd sort of like look at the two and you think, well, I can understand why they did that design because it matches the current buildings in the area of the period. So it's interesting. And I mean, dome towers and dome buildings is very prominent also in India. So you can understand why people have presumed that. I mean, how true it is, who's to know? But that's what they say.
Well, looking at this, and it looks like the architectural style is actually French Renaissance architecture from Google itself. So that's quite interesting. But it's definitely the most famous building in Melbourne. So
yeah, and you can pick it from a mile away. Anyway, let's finish our drinks, mate, and head on down to the venue. All right, so we're looking for a green door and people waving at us and smiling.
Oh, really? There'll
Yeah.
be people waving and smiling?
Wow. The friendly staff are meant to greet us at the door.
Oh, is that right? Do you have like a actual, like a QR code or something like
Yeah.
that? Or?
They're all green doors.
There's a lot of green doors.
I'm going to try. Which one is it? Head towards Flinder Street, they said. All right.
The exhibition is all on level 3. Everything is immersive, so you can walk in and through things, but please, if you don't mind, keep your paws to yourself.
Just with the camera and stuff in there, my friend, just be careful of your flash or anything.
No flash. That's why I got this.
What is it?
That's what that is.
Yeah, that's my equivalent of a tripod.
It was like a gaming thing.
So this is not a tripod, is it? Or it is a tripod?
No, it's not a tripod. Tripod means 3. This is got 4. Oh, it's flat.
Sure, we are just very close to commercial photography.
This is not commercial. We're basically just wannabes.
Yeah.
Did I just say that? But anyway, yeah.
No problem at all.
Yeah. So, how many stairs was it?
96.
96.
It feels like more than 96 stairs to me.
No, I'm telling you it's not 96.
Which way best to start?
I think it's best to start to your right first and head your way down to the ballroom and explore all of the rooms.
This is massive.
Wow.
So this is the first room. It's the classroom setting. A chalkboard and chairs. A very old school classroom.
You know why? Just for the first room, that's actually really impressive.
Well, they did a training academy here as well.
This is like set by this is like a classroom, right?
Yeah. So,
And the single individual chairs that kids used to sit in, and they look like they're from 1800s themselves.
yeah, well, the funny thing was they were saying that when they're actually organising this, they have to get each individual desk or each typewriter. So, yeah, this is pretty cool. I'm just going to break out the camera.
Yeah.
Moving into the artist's workshop. So it's just easels everywhere and paintings.
Right. So the second room is some sort of art gallery. Not gallery. What do you call it? Painting studio. A live studio. Live sketch studio. Wow. Well, I'm taking photos with my iPhone and you're taking photos with your 5D Mark IV. We'll see which one turns out better, eh?
I'm sure yours will come out much better than mine.
We're moving into this amazingly long hallway.
And these hallways just keep going and going.
Yeah,
They're almost as long as the platforms.
it is. It's phenomenal. Oh, wow.
It just looks like there's a mirror at the end of the corridor and it's reflecting, because it's just so long. It looks like there's a mirror reflecting the corridor back at you, but it just keeps going.
It's long.
That is amazing.
Very long.
You can understand why it took him so long, 3 years, to deck this place out.
This is the library, a huge dark room with bookcases everywhere, ladders.
It's actually quite... I'm actually lost for words, man, to be honest with you. It's actually really interesting. Really impressive.
So you also have to remember that this wasn't actually here. This is not part of the building. So he's made this whole thing. So we're
Yeah, the whole thing is like made up, yeah?
Yeah, so
all individual rooms that he basically prepared.
Yeah, so he decked it out. He put the actual bookcases in, he put the stairs in, he put the books in. So everything here is not from the period, but it is period specific.
Yes.
Oh.
So all that was reprinted?
Supposedly, you can't even take the stickers off if they're already there from the heritage listing. So, the building itself is heritage listed, so they can't actually paint or draw onto the building itself.
Oh,
So
okay.
what they do is they get rice paper and they cover everything before they do their artwork on it. And that way there's no issues with the actual heritage listing.
Right.
Because you're not allowed to touch or...
Yeah, of course. So I'm guessing this is original building,
Yeah.
but then like the hallway is original building, but then potentially...
Well, that would be original as well.
Do you reckon this will be original?
Yeah.
Really?
Well, you're not allowed to go into it, so it wouldn't be part of the display. So there's no logic in it.
Wow, okay then.
So he's done painting. I believe some of it's spray paint, like spray paint, brush paint, chalk paint, chalk art. So he's done in the opening room, the study. It wasn't study, it was school, sorry. It was chalkboard. What I've always wanted to know is where he gets these books from.
There's no books, there's just a mock-up thing.
Is it a mock-up or is
Yeah,
it?
it's actually, there's no actual room. Like if you look inside, there's,
But if you look at
that's
these,
all,
they're-
but like, look at that, you know what I mean? That's all,
Okay, so they're fake
it's
books.
a fake book, yeah.
Mental note, must buy lots of fake books for my office.
There you go.
Stepping into the pharmacy, which looks almost like a news agency. Interesting little room.
No, this room looks like a shop.
Chemist.
Is it a shop? Is it a chemist?
Yeah.
Oh, it does too. All the vials and
Yeah.
yeah, nice.
Please do not ask for credit because, yeah.
Wow. Can I ask a question? Is that part of the actual exhibition as well? Is that part of?
The hallway cloak area,
Yes.
that is actually original to the station. RONE
It
has
is.
obviously used it for the exhibition, but it was actually part of the setup for Victorian Railways Institute. So
Okay, so it is original.
it is
but,
original.
Okay.
So
right.
yes, the staff, when they came up here to use the classrooms, you probably noticed on the back of the door it's got letteret that says
Yes.
English on the job. When the staff came up to use the facilities on this level, they put their folded caps and jackets in there.
Wow.
And of course, when people came up to use the ballroom, they used it at night as well. So
Yeah, that's right.
It is authentic.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, RONE's added the pole and obviously put
Yes.
garments and things in there, but yes,
Just
it is
tweaked
it
it
is
up,
original to the
zhuzhed it
station.
up a little bit.
Yeah, that's
Nice.
right.
Nice. I'm gonna take a photo of that.
Yeah, no worries. There's a lot of interesting little things in there. to
Yeah,
look at.
thank you.
Okay, and this is the clock room. Now, this is... there's so much detail in this room, it's hard to explain.
Hi. So the other side of this that's Elizabeth Street?
It is, yes.
It is. Okay, so that's the clock that we can see from the outside.
No,
No. Oh, it's joking.
it's created to look like that clock, but it's not actually.
So it's got LED lights at the back of it. Wow. Okay,
Little
that makes
secret.
sense.
Let you in on a little secret.
Thank you. Interesting.
Yeah, because I looked at that when I was like,
Yeah.
Wait,
It
how's
plays
that
with your head a
out
bit,
there,
doesn't it?
because that's a clock tower, and how does that work with the other rooms?
Yeah.
it
So it's
is
actually, it's been built there and it's got a light projecting on
Yeah.
it? Or,
Yeah, it's got
so
LED
not-
lights at the back.
lights
Yeah.
behind it.
It's actually a nice equal light.
That's
Beautiful
pretty cool.
light, but yes, and a very good replica.
Very good. Yeah, well, fooled.
Yeah.
I'm sure it fooled with like 95% of people,
Yeah.
if not more.
got
Thank
us.
you.
Because you can understand where the 120 people's worked for 3 years went.
Yeah, yeah.
It's amazing. Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
no worries.
Moving into the glass house. Now, the glass house is the old ballroom, and this is one of the most biggest draw cards to this exhibit.
They seem to be quite particular about specifically cameras and stuff.
Oh, they probably had people selling their work off because this is how they make their money. So.
Just so you know, you can't actually film. You can take a photo, but you can't
Yeah, it's just
film.
photos, long exposures.
Okay.
Just
Okay,
photos.
as long as it's photos and there's no
Yeah.
film because of security reasons, we can't have video.
Yeah, that's no problem. Thank you. So we've just come into the main hall and the setup here is amazing. The amount of work and effort that's gone into this design is just crazy.
Now we're moving back into that giant corridor that we were talking about earlier. It's mind-blowing. Whoa!
Yeah, all the newspapers are original as well. Like the actual.
Yeah. So he goes around and hunts for individual stuff, and he was making a comment where he had to buy like 12 typewriters, all identical typewriters,
No.
which is virtually impossible to
Yeah,
say.
that's right.
And the cost involved.
Yeah. Oh, he'll be making shitloads of money out of this.
Well, would you?
Mate.
It was a government fund that was given to him, like
Oh, was it?
to support the actual production,
Yeah, right.
which would help. But the amount of rent that you'd have to pay in a building like this, OH&S and everything else that goes with it,
Yeah, I
would be
guess.
astronomical. I mean, we've got public liability to do a photo shoot that costs an arm and a leg. You know. And you've got to have all these people come in. It's crazy. I just can't get over how long this corridor is. It just keeps going. How long would you say it is?
Oh, mate, it looks 400 or 500 meters.
Do we know how long the corridor is?
Oh, sorry.
Do we know how long the corridor is?
Not sure how long, but it is the longest corridor in the Southern Hemisphere.
It is. Okay.
That is.
Let me just check on the radio.
The platform is. It just feels like there's a mirror. Oh, has he? They beat you to it.
Yeah, they beat you to it.
They beat you to it.
210.
210 meters. Oh, okay, cool.
It
Thank
just
you.
feels like there's a mirror halfway and it's reflecting. It's just so long. Thank you. 210 meters long in a corridor.
Mate, it looks really long, doesn't it?
1/5 of a kilometre.
Ballroom is right down the end to explore.
Crazy.
So we're moving into the workroom,
Come back past me.
Cool.
and there's just sewing machines lining the whole entire room, wall to wall.
Mate, I'm blown away, man. Just the detail of this. Wow, this is like a sewing room. Sewing room?
Yeah, it is a sewing room. So I actually asked what the concept behind it is and how it fits in. It doesn't. But supposedly they had a lot of sewing places around this area.
Oh, right.
So I had a feeling that we're being watched everywhere we go.
Yeah, because you're with your camera. They obviously don't want to take any photos.
And the blue glow,
Yeah, we should have put something on top of it.
like a microphone.
Or like they actually have the lapel components and no one actually see it.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder where he actually keeps all the stuff, as in after the exhibition. What does he do? What does he do with it?
I think they just get rid of it, or they probably sell it off, or maybe keep it in a warehouse for the next exhibit. I mean, not that you don't know what you're going to do with all these sewing machines, but
These sewing machines will be bloody worth a mint as well, right?
well, even the tables for some of the stuff that you're seeing actually have been built specifically for this. So they don't come with the machines. So someone's gone off and actually created them, even put stains, coffee stains and stuff. It's for the authenticity.
Stepping into the mail room. So there's a mail sorting area here with letters scattered across the floor and hanging out of drawers on the walls, and a huge mural on the wall as well.
It is a mail room, isn't it? Check out all the bags that's sorting. Makes you...
There it is. Bags full of mail.
Yeah.
What I'm curious about is the spider webs.
Mate.
So we're in the typing pool now. So basically, typewriters wall to wall, very similar to the workroom in the styling.
Got a typewriter room. Excuse me, is the ceiling actually original or is it sort of part of the actual exhibition itself? Do you know?
I'll have to double check that one.
It makes you wonder if the ceiling is actually original or if it's part of the exhibition.
I don't know, or you don't know?
Oh, they're checking.
That would be the original. See, that design's actually tin for tin, and it's actually stamped so it bends. And it's actually tin shit, like tiles, but made of tin. That would be the original. That would be too much. And then he has to, then you got to try and work around the actual fire, all the stuff. It's original, 100%. So that one actually, that might not be tin. That might actually, looking at the hole there, it might be tin.
Yeah, it looks like it, doesn't it?
Yeah, because they used to use.
It is. It's original.
It's original?
Yeah,
that's what I said, yeah.
Yeah.
Because you've got the fire stuff there, trying to get around that. It'd be a nightmare.
Yeah.
I think the only ceiling that's been touched is in the greenhouse.
No, because that's got the beams, the new fresh beams.
Yeah,
so that was going to collapse probably.
Yeah.
I think the whole thing is rotten.
Yeah. Cool, thank you.
Stepping into the main office, it looks like a director's office, and it is huge. It's got armchairs, tables. It is the way you would expect a very important person's office to look.
It's like the boss's
I
office.
was about to say the CEO's office.
The big boss.
How awesome would it be to have a picture like that sitting behind you while you're working? So did you notice the lights in the other room were actually working in sequence with the actual music?
Right, okay. That's all right. It's like she's looking directly at you, isn't it? And she's almost like sad yet like very mysterious.
I just want to know who they're actually moulded on. So these giant portraits of women that is renowned for, just in every room. But they have to be someone. They can't just be random people. Did you know that one of the one of the solos that we followed in the solo trail when we were doing those photo shoots is actually done one of those ones as well?
All right.
Little known facts of the world.
There's a checkbook as well on the table.
Quick, write one out for yourself.
And they, that's all in pounds as well.
The dust itself, I sort of wonder what it's made of.
It looks very dusty, doesn't it?
I reckon it's plaster dust. metal filings. So you can see some shiny resin.
Even like the cobwebs and stuff, they look very real, don't they?
So much history in this place. There's so many. You ever been to the Cyclodrome?
The what?
The Cyclodrome.
I don't know what that is.
In Melbourne, if you actually go onto Google Maps and you look from a look down, you'll find a building that's perfectly circular. And it's called a Cyclodrome or something. And what they used to do before movies were available, they used to go in there and they used to do a painting across the wall and do like a 360.
Yeah.
And basically...
Like a 360 painting?
Yeah. And people would go in there and stand in the middle and look around and it'd be like this immersive experience.
Yeah.
And the building still exists in Melbourne. So if you look at it from Google Maps directly above, you'll find it. I mean, of course, obviously the inside's missing now. And they're built around it and stuff, but you can still see the outskirts of it. And I think it's near Collins Street, I believe.
Yeah, right.
And then movies came out, black and white movies, so everyone stopped going there and they closed it down.
No.
A lot of the buildings now, government buildings are opening up so people can do tours. The exhibition building on Clarendon Street, Nicholson Street, the one in East Melbourne.
Don't know, can't remember.
Yeah. You know the one with the dome on the top and they do all the car expos there?
Ah, yeah.
So they've opened it up, you can go onto the roof and you can walk around the top of the roof, around the dome.
Oh, wow.
On the outside so you can see the whole of Melbourne.
Well, that'll be interesting. Should organise a time to go up there.
Yeah, so they've done that. Treasury was also, you know, where they do the birthdays, where they do the weddings.
Weddings, yeah.
The registry. That's actually open underneath, and you can see where they used to basically have all the vaults, and they used to put gold into. Which is actually, the vaults were very, very small, which I was surprised by. Stairs or elevator?
Whatever.
Stairs. Let's do stairs.
Stepping down to level 1.
So the gallery now, so we're going to gallery.
Yeah,
so what's that? So that's the actual... Yeah, thank you. That's some good images, eh?
Yeah. Think they were shot on a Canon or a Sony? Nikon, probably.
Probably Hasselblad or something like that, man, I'd say.
Look at the richness of colour, it's just amazing. And you can buy these, I think.
Yeah. Cool. Nice.
So, just out of curiosity, these are amazing shots, and whoever did the photography on them, you know, kudos to them. RONE did his own photography.
He did his own photography.
Wow.
He did all the photos. That's why some of the...
I'm just trying to find out what camera they use. Yeah, phase 1. Okay, that's a 100 megapixel camera. Okay.
So, what exactly is a phase 1? So that's what he's shooting with.
Yeah, so phase 1 is a portrait camera. Well, I guess you can use it for landscape as well. But it's 100 megapixels, so it's like a full frame. I'd say, thank you.
Thank you. Have a great night.
So, yeah, I think it's like a medium format camera, basically. And like the sensor on it is really big.
So that's all the amount of detail. And
correct, yeah. So it's, I mean, that camera alone, I think, is close to 100 grand or something like that, isn't it? Oh yeah, $52,000 for the 52,000. Yeah, for that camera.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, bye-bye.
Oh, that was easy to get out.
So now we're back on the street.
Back on the
after
street.
Walking out of the green door. One of
green door.
15,000 green doors.
Yeah.
First of all, how did you find wearing the Rode microphone?
With the blue lights sticking out like a sore thumb, yeah. It's actually the funny thing is no one's actually mentioned anything to us.
Yeah, no one mentioned anything about the glowing blue light on our chest that we both had. But my camera on my platypus little tripod, for those people who don't know what a platypus is, it's a little base plate with little feet. It probably sits about 5 centimeters off the ground. Yep. It allows you to put a Manfrotto head on there or some other head where you can actually tilt the camera. So it's not just putting the camera on the floor, you can still angle it. But that caught a lot of attention.
I think it's not just that, it's just the actual camera itself, because I've noticed when you were taking photo, the shutter itself was actually quite loud.
But it's no fun.
I've noticed as soon as you took a photo, the security sort of had a
What's
glance.
that?
You know what I mean?
So we were told,
is he doing commercial work or is he, you know?
Commercial work was not allowed, which we're not commercial.
No.
Well, we are commercial, but we're not selling these photos or using them in that way. So there's no issue there. But they also didn't like video. And they kept asking me, am I shooting video? Are
Yeah.
you shooting video?
I wonder
Are you
why.
shooting video?
Last time we didn't have that problem.
No. They've gotten a little bit more antsy about taking cameras in there. So it's a bit of a shame because
Yeah.
you know it's nice to capture those shots, but you can understand because the artist wants to sell their work.
Yeah.
And in saying
Actually,
that,
you know what? I was listening to the lady that was talking about the images that he was selling. So there's limited number of images, which is 20 images of the large prints that he only produces.
yeah,
But they're also $4,000 each, and $5,000 if you want them framed. Now, if you want the big size, which is 1.5, 1.6, something like that, across,
Yeah.
that was $6,000 plus framing, so that's another $1,000, so that's $7,000.
wow.
So they were pretty expensive considering, but you know, it is art, and he was using obviously a phase 1 camera, which is obviously,
Those photos are pretty amazing.
yeah.
Ultimately, the photos that came out of that camera were amazing. Like multiple focus points, soft blur in different locations. It didn't look like a photo, it looked like an art piece. So yeah, 100% amazing work. Would I pay that much? I don't know. I'm not rich enough to be able to fill up my house with artwork that expensive.
Yeah. See, the
mean,
thing is,
that-
I prefer my own artwork. So my house is full of my own artwork of Melbourne scapes, landscapes, or
But that's
whatever
because you're
else.
an artist yourself,
Well, potentially.
you know. So
Not as big as RONE, but yeah. Yeah.
now with the display itself, it was great, wasn't it?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it, and I think it's definitely worthwhile seeing, not from just a artist perspective, but being on top of Flinder Street Station. It's a big thing. You know what I mean?
And I think we both found that we could look through the windows and look at South Bank on the other side, which is something I've never been able to do before.
Yeah,
Because we
from that
always look
side.
at South
Yeah.
Bank looking at Flinder Street Station, so it's a perspective that's fresh. So that in itself is unique.
Definitely. Yeah.
So would you say to people you must see?
I think so.
Yeah. And it's through till April, so definitely worth doing. I personally thought it was fantastic. Can't wait for the next one in 3 years' time, probably.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was great.
Definitely
And-
worthwhile. Definitely, it puts a different perspective, I think, as well.
Yeah. Definitely go out there and do it if you get the chance. That's pretty much it, really.
That's it. All right. Thanks for listening.
Thank you, and see you on the next episode.
Toodaloo.
Bye bye.